Guys, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Now, I'm going to try and be as neutral as I can, but I will point the fact out that I am in this scenario. If you are pro Mason coming back to the Steelers, or con, or against, or you don't want him here, or you're not a fan of it, there's two sides to the coin. But in this scenario, I'm going to try and be as neutral as I can, because the one point I don't get out of anything of this. The one point I don't understand is, why are we arguing? And when I say we, I mean Steeler Nation on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube comments, all the videos going around YouTube. Why is Steeler Nation arguing back and forth about a quarterback number 3? Right? Let's put aside just for a second who it is. You have Kenny Pickett. Trubisky's there at number 2 so far. That looks like that's going to happen, be a backup to Kenny Pickett. They go and sign, well, they still haven't officially signed Mason Rudolph yet, but it's probably going to happen. They're going to sign Rudolph. And here we are having an argument online that Rudolph sucks. Rudolph's the best. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I don't understand. If Rudolph came in to compete for quarterback number 1, I would shoot that down, right? Is there a chance he might compete for quarterback number 2? Highly unlikely, because I think the Steelers like Trubisky where he's at. Now, me personally, sure, I wouldn't mind seeing a shootout between those two, and the best man wins QB2. But here's the point I don't understand. All of Steeler Nation is arguing over a quarterback that won't see the field. Now, last year in 2022, when Rudolph was there, he never saw the field at all. There were some games that he didn't even dress. He just used his clipboard and he sat on the back bench and watched the game for free. Had the best seat in the house, $5 million contract. They didn't use him. He was a part of practice, warm-ups, that kind of stuff. Reps for the players, but you never saw him on the field. That's the point I really don't understand, right? I just don't get it. Why are we arguing over quarterback number 3? And like I said, I'll try to remain as neutral as possible. And I understand that there is team Mason on one side, and there is team we hate Mason on the other, right? I actually do believe that I don't think he's ever been given a fair shot. When he was drafted by the Steelers, Big Ben didn't really want to mentor him, and he doesn't have to. Big Ben doesn't have to mentor Mason, doesn't need to, right? But that didn't start out too hot. He got thrown into a scenario where Big Ben went down with an injury, and then Mason came in. He got knocked out unconscious. I think it was from Earl Thomas, the Raven, came in with a big head-high tackle, knocked his head off. Then you saw the Myles Garrett situation where he threw the helmet on. He grabbed his own helmet. He grabbed the man's own helmet and smacked him in the head for an apparent use of a really bad language, which we don't know if it's true or not true, right? We don't know. I don't know. I'm all the way here in Australia, right? You have all that stuff. Then he got replaced by Duck. Duck did 3 games, and I believe he came back after that. And the Steelers, I think, they went 8-8 or 9-8, something like that. They finished that season and I think missed the playoffs. But this is what I find. Look, Rudolph, his contract expired. Everything expired. He was a free agent. And the other question, or the other narrative I keep hearing around the internet, is that the fact that no teams called. Do you know that? Do I know that? How do you know that? I don't know that. I don't think that would be the case. If you are an NFL quarterback, surely some teams have called and said, hey, we might offer you this deal. You could be quarterback 3 here, quarterback 2 here, see what happens. Do you want to fire off on that and strike that deal? I don't subscribe to that narrative that Mason Rudolph was not called at all for 2 months. I believe his agent would have been getting some phone calls. If it were to be teams like the Colts or Commanders back up, not saying starter, but surely around the league there might have been some calls here and there None have been reported via the rumors, but even the same example right now, this is still a rumor. It's still a rumor from Andrew Filipponi and I think Kevin Adams. But he does have the screenshot showing Mason Rudolph saying he's coming back to the Steelers. So it's pretty much going to happen. He's going to be quarterback number 3. So in that sense, I don't understand that, right? But let's go back again. It's quarterback number 3. Quarterback number 3. If Kenny goes down, if Trubisky goes down, right? Even though if he's going to be the backup and you are relying on quarterback number 3, no matter who it is, you pretty much have like 5% chance to go to the playoffs to win games. It's very hard. Now, when that happened with the Duck season and Rudolph season, we had Big Ben went down, Rudolph came in, and Duck came in, and Mike Tomlin led those guys to a non-losing season, right? They still got out of their own way. But if this happens this year, where Kenny goes down, Mitch goes down, and you're left with Rudolph, I'm okay with it, but you're still not going to win many games. Let's be honest, right? I am pro Mason, but I see the reality is he's not a quarterback that can start. He can back up. He's shown that. And that's why they're bringing him back to the Steelers, because they've got depth now at that position, right? This is why I don't understand. Why are we arguing about quarterback number 3? Don't get it. When I was a little kid watching the game in 2002, 2003, 2004, when I first started, there was a quarterback of the name of Brian St. Pierre in 2004. He never threw a pass. Did we argue about him being on the team and saying he sucks, he's awful, what's going to happen if they go down? I don't think we did. And back then I didn't have social media, or no one did. So you just kind of moved on with your time. And for me, it's all about Kenny Pickett and his progression to year 2. I actually do think it's a pretty good signing. It's not a great signing, but I find it funny that over the whole offseason, Omar Khan making all the moves, bringing all the players in, and this is the one signing that Steeler Nation is going to rock heads together and say, you don't know what you're talking about, Mason's bad. You don't know what you're talking about, Mason's good. That's the part I don't understand. Omar Khan, we had Sutton go, we had Terrell Edmonds go. They've replaced those guys, and sure, they will be hard to replace with the Sutton. You know, Patrick Peterson coming in. Terrell Edmonds has been replaced by Carr Z and Keanu Neal, and sure, it's going to be different. But they still went out there and got players like that. So this is what I'm saying. I just don't understand. The argument would make more sense to have a discussion if he was coming in for quarterback number 2, or if Mason Rudolph was coming in for quarterback number 1. But the fact he's coming in for quarterback number 3, I feel like we should just go, oh, okay. Mason Rudolph's back. He's quarterback number 3. We'll move on. That's what I don't understand. But like I'm saying, I tried to be as neutral as possible, but I am more or less, I'm happy with the decision. And on the other side, people are very unhappy that they brought him back. But who do you want in that spot? If you look to Mason Rudolph's resume or his connection with the Steelers, he's been there, 4 or 5 years. He knows the playbook. He knows the facility. He knows where to go for lunch. He knows the cafeteria ladies and guys there. He knows all the staff. It's a familiar environment for that aspect. He's actually started games. He started games in Heinz Field. There are some pluses there, which, if it does come down to quarterback number 3, he might give you a chance to win some games, right? I'm just saying I might give you a chance. But still, if you get down to quarterback number 3, what's the overall point? The point is, it's going to be very hard to win games if you get that far. I don't know. I hope I cleared the air, because I just think we've been on the same page for the last 3 months or whatever, and we're fine to have opposite discourse, or we're fine to disagree and agree and go back and forth. That's why I have this channel, is to get other people's opinions and go back and forth. But like I said before in my live stream, we just don't call anyone names, anything like that. Otherwise, you'll be blocked straight away, basically. But what I'm trying to get at in my final point, I just don't think it makes any sense, no matter what. The Steelers get a guy that can be quarterback number 3 in case of an emergency. If something does happen to Kenny or to Trubisky, and next minute you're going to get a guy maybe that has to finish the season or play a few games to run the rock and see if we can get a win out of Mason Rudolph. I just don't understand the overall dislike of like, oh no, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's quarterback number 3. All right, guys, thank you for checking out my rant, and thank you for checking out Steelers Nation Australia. Let me know in the comments below how you feel in the situation. I'm okay with it. It's fine. You have Kenny Pickett. The offense is going to go through him. He's going to get reps with the ones. He's the guy leading into the future. Trubisky looks to be the backup for the moment, and Mason Rudolph signs apparently a 1-year deal. So this year we can have a quarterback number 3, and into the future we don't know. But right now, as the 3rd quarterback on this team, it shouldn't raise that much of a concern or outcry from both parties, from positive or negative. And I hope I stayed as neutral as I could in this scenario, because the argument around quarterback number 3, no idea why I did that. Quarterback number 3 makes no sense. I'll see you later.